Yes, Pandit, you're welcome to the kirtan.
Okay, sure. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Prashyata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayādvaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayādvaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivacharya Astotas Divine Grace AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivacharya Astotas Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय. नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोधाम की जय. वृंदावन धाम की जय. मथुरा धाम की जय. मायापुर नदी धाम की जय. जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. गंगामयी जमुनामयी की जय. तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय. समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय. All glories assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. Always Shiva and Gauranga.
Welcome everyone to Srimad Bhagavatam with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Monday, June 30th, 2025. And we're starting with Srimad Bhagavatam. Is that right? 9 to 10? For those that were there. Okay.
That's right.
Let's see.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, I'll start with 9 to 10. Vatsam kapaya me vira yanaham vatsbla tava
Text
uche.
number 9 and 10.
Yeah. Did I get it right there?
You're in the right place. You're right, Mahesh Pandit, and that's what he's reading.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. I'll just have it. Okay. Tokshe Shiramayan Kaman Narupam Cha Dohanam Togdaram Cha Mahabaho Bhutanam Bhutta Bhavana Anam Ipsitam Urjas Bhagavan Vanchate Yadi. Translation. O great hero, protector of living entities, if you desire to relieve the living entities by supplying them sufficient grain, and if you desire to nourish them by taking milk from me, you should make arrangements to bring a calf suitable for this purpose and a pot in which the milk can be kept, as well as a milkman to do the work, since I will be very much affectionate towards my calf. Your desire to take milk from me will be fulfilled. Purport. These are nice instructions for milking a cow. The cow must first have a calf, so that out of affection for the calf she will voluntarily give sufficient milk. There must also be an expert milkman and a suitable pot in which to keep the milk. Just as a cow cannot deliver sufficient milk without being affectionate to her calf, the earth cannot produce sufficient necessities without feeling affection for those who are Krishna conscious. Even though the earth's being in the shape of a cow may be taken figuratively, the meaning herein is very explicit. Just as a calf can derive milk from a cow, all living entities, including animals, birds, bees, reptiles, and aquatics, can receive their respective foods from the planet Earth, provided that human beings are not asat or arjita rata, as we have previously discussed. When human society becomes asat or ungodly or devoid of Krishna consciousness, the entire world suffers. If human beings are well behaved, animals will also receive sufficient food and be happy. The ungodly human being, ignorant of his duty to give protection and food to the animals, kills them to compensate for the insufficient production of grains. Thus, no one is satisfied, and that is the cause for the present condition in today's world. Guru Maharaj and others, do you have comments?
Okay. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadhati Shapadantika Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Shaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. These verses give us an overview of what will be happening in the chapter. We've discussed before that the Indian system, at least the traditional system for milking a cow, is that you bring the calf, and the calf, what shall we say, stimulates the affection of the cow. The cow gladly gives milk, and then the calf drinks some. Then you take the calf away, keep the calf nearby, and then you continue to milk the cow. Take the milk into a bucket. So in this chapter, the earth is the cow, and there are going to be different milkers and different kinds of milk and different kinds of pots or buckets in which the milk is supposed to go. And as we can take it as allegorical. That's not, we can take it as allegorical, but it gives us the understanding of how Krishna has arranged for the earth to provide all the necessities for the living beings. Sarva Dugam, what is that? Sarva Kama Dugamahi, in the first canto it said. The earth can abundantly provide everything needed for the human society. And now that will come out. In the Bhagavad Gita also, that famous verse is there in Gita Mahatmya, Sarvo Panishado Gavo, Dugda Gopalanandana, Partha, Vatsa Sudhir, Bhokta, Dugdam Gitamrita Mahat. The Bhagavad Gita is also compared to a cow, and the milk bin is Krishna. And the milk is the nectar of Bhagavad Gita, and the drinkers of the milk are the Sudhir. Yes, Sudhir. The enjoyers of the milk, Sudhir Bhokta, are the thoughtful devotees or the readers of Bhagavad Gita. So the analogy is used in different places, but we'll see how this plays out, actually. And it's interesting that my Kindle has a mind of its own. Let's try to get it back to what I had in mind. Yeah, the Asat. The planet can give enough of everything, but not to the rogues. The rogues may squeeze out something immediately. That's the nature of the rogues, that they're all for prayas, all for immediate benefit, and not for long-term benefit. This observation is there now that those who are ecologically minded are unhappy, justifiably so, that industry is just squeezing everything from the earth, regardless of any consideration for the earth itself or for the others who live on the earth. And so they want a more ecological approach. But finally, they're united because in that they both want sense gratification. They're thinking the earth is ours. It's for our enjoyment. And so let us do it in such a way that we can enjoy longer. So in that sense, they're also rogues, but at least they're better rogues. They're more sensible rogues. But it's true that the earth has provided grains, everything, for the enjoyment of the human beings. Tena chaktena bhunjita. Everyone's entitled to their own allotment, their own quota, their own portion. But and magadakashasvidhanam, no one should claim more. But the first point is Isha avasyam idam sarvam, that everything belongs to Krishna, not that everything belongs to us to divide it among ourselves wisely, but everything is Krishna's property. With that understanding, we can have a happy world. Okay. Hare Krishna.
We have some things in chat
Something
box.
in the chat, okay.
Ravina Krishna Prabhu writes, in the allegory there is some truth, but mixed with fiction. Is this correct?
Well, allegory is interesting. Fiction, yes, first we say, yes, it's fiction. It's not a real cow. It's not a real pot. It's not a real this. It's not a real that. On the other hand, allegory is meant to get us closer to what's real. Sometimes that's the purpose of the allegory. By the allegory, we come to a deeper understanding of what's actually there. So in that sense, yeah, it's a deeper understanding. There's an allegory, well, many allegories. In Greek writings, the allegory of the cave dwellers who only see, who never see the light outside. They only have some fire which projects things on the wall, and they don't see things as they are. So in one sense, that brings us closer to the truth than just to paint a picture of life as we see it around us. So yes, you can say it's fictional, but the fiction brings us closer to the truth. That's one way of expressing things. I hope that's okay.
Learning out of these.
Oh, you have a follow-up from Phil. Phil has returned from Gita Nagari and has something to bring up.
You mentioned Maharaj, which is interesting. Even the people who are saying we should protect the earth are sense gratifiers because they just want it to sustain longer, to divvy it up for sense gratification. And in the purport, it's mentioning earth as a personality that willingly gives to the Vaishnavas the way a cow gives to its calf. I'd never thought about that distinction before.
We brought up the earth. Run that for me one more time.
So there are people who say we should protect the earth and take care of the forest and this and that. But the way it sounds like, as you explained it, Maharaj, they're not doing it because it's God's property. They're doing it because they just want sense gratification.
Sense gratification. Can you hear online?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I never thought about that distinction. So even those people who are trying to protect the earth, if their goal is wrong, then it's still sinful.
Yes, that's our position. That people have taken position. This is righteousness. This is ethic. This is the highest ethic, the higher ethic. We should always be ecological. We should always consider the earth as a whole. We shouldn't be so focused on short-term profits that we act contrary to nature's way. And that's almost become the modern religion. You know, if a person is ecologically minded, then he's a saint. And if he's not, then he's a sinner. So, but from our point of view, anyone who doesn't recognize Krishna is sinful or materialistic. Just he's a better sinner, he's a better materialist, he's a more virtuous materialist, but he's missing the point of life. And he's ultimately trying to exploit property that's not his, but he's trying to do it in a better way. And as Prabhupada said, thieves dividing piously. So they're the pious thieves. Otherwise, we'd be on board and say, yes, let's all be ecologists. Let's all be, there's what could be more important than working in harmony with the earth. But that's as far as they go. And therefore, it's still materialistic. And their final result will be to come back in the material world, maybe as a dolphin or, what have you. So they're not really addressing the ultimate problems of life or the ultimate purpose of nature. So on the one side, we appreciate, and then the other side, we advise that you have to go further. You've come this far. This is very nice. We can put it that way. It's very nice. You care about the earth. You see things more in the long-term way than in the immediate short term. But we have to expand that vision. We have to have a still longer term vision and a still more expansive for holistic vision. You can't have a holistic vision that leaves out the controller of nature. We're looking at nature. Good. We want to be in harmony with nature, but nature has a God. Nature has a controller. And if we're not taking that controller into account, how are we being holistic? Purnam. Om Purnam Ada Purnamidam. The Upanishads are looking at the complete whole. Isha, the personality of Godhead, in whom nature is included, the living beings are included. So anything we try to chalk out that subtracts Isha will fail. It will fail. So yes, is that all right? Okay. Were there more comments there?
Yeah. Pratik Madhavi Masaji writes, Hare Krishna Maharaj, would it be acceptable in Lord's eye to eat animals in areas where it is extremely cold for a complete 12 months like Siberia? As one of the reasons given to eat non-veg in such areas is also to keep the body warm.
Yeah. There's something called apadharma. Apadharma means religious principles to be followed in times of emergency. So just there was one time Vishwamitra Muni was stranded someplace and he had to eat dog meat because there was nothing. But he wasn't degraded to drag down from his status as Brahmin because it was necessary. Apad. Apad means emergency. So emergency dharma, that's allowed. In time of emergency, you have to do whatever you have to do. But of course, that doesn't justify doing the same thing in any other circumstance. If there's an emergency, you're driving an ambulance, you can drive on any speed, any side of the street, go through all the stoplights. But the next day, driving in your car, you can't do the same thing and say, well, I did it yesterday. So then we come to Siberia. I haven't been to Siberia, but I suspect that Siberia is probably pretty well provisioned these days. No place is just relying on local produce, just as we're getting, bananas in February in New York City. I suspect that they're getting. I think we could do without the animated reactions. I find them distracting. I don't know about you. I don't even know where they come from, and they just float on the screen. It's the latest innovation from Zoom, but I think if we could just keep it localized. Thank you. So I suspect that Siberia is probably well provisioned for vegetarians these days, that you can get anything you want. We don't need meat to stay warm. You could have ginger tea and be just as warm. There are plenty of vegetarians living in the Himalayas. The sages were living in the Himalayas and still fulfilling their needs. So both things are true, and yes, so there may have been places previously where there was nothing else to eat. There was only animals. You'd have to kill a seal or something. But now practically everywhere, there's arrangements to fly in anything from any part of the world. And we shouldn't use this, we find this as typically used by those who want to eat meat. They're living in New York, they're living in Chicago, they're living in Bombay. And to justify their meat eating, they say, well, what about parts of the world where there's, no vegetables or no fruits, or where they have to eat meat? And they want to get us talking about that. So that's what they call a red herring, or an argument brought in from just to distract attention. All right, the Eskimos may have to eat meat, but you're not an Eskimo. So why should we waste time talking about that? What about your diet? What about your diet? The Eskimos, let them eat whatever they want to eat, but you're not an Eskimo. So what about you? That would be the usual thought. Hare Krishna.
More things in the chat. Murari Gupta Prabhu writes, Hare Krishna Maharaj, when I hear these stories, I can't help thinking that if the planet Earth appeared in all her glory today at a United Nations meeting and explained the situation, it might go a long way to correcting the present situation. If any demigod appeared, it could change things dramatically, but it isn't happening. Except that this is not Krishna's plan. Is there another reason why this doesn't happen?
You're not qualified. The earth is appearing before Prithu Maharaj, who's the most righteous king, and finally explaining things to Prithu Maharaj, who's the most qualified protector, ultimately, of the earth. But that doesn't mean the same pious earth has to appear before the most degraded people, just to impress them. Here we are. We see Krishna appeared before Kamsa, didn't change Kamsa's mentality. He remained just as envious, just as foolish. Let me kill Krishna. The impious, Krishna is appearing now. Kali Kali Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. Krishna is appearing in the form of Harinam. He's available to everyone, and those who chant Hare Krishna can get the benefit. But those who are averse, these people are wasting their time, or these people are fanatics, or these people are this or that, or that's all right for them, but not for me. So even though Krishna is available, we don't take advantage if we don't have sufficient pious credit or sufficient mercy from devotee. If some demigod appeared before the demons would try to nuke him or explain him away, deny that he ever appeared. We know that there's so many unusual things that appear in nature. There's what we call mystic powers, psychokinesis, telepathy, and so on. And the hard scientists deny them. They just dismiss the evidence because it doesn't fit their worldview. So in so many ways, the materialists, whatever you show them, they won't get it. Those who are demonic. Krishna is appearing in the form of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is appearing in the form of Harinam. Krishna is appearing in the form of the Hare Krishna movement. Take advantage. Hare Krishna.
Murari Gupta Prabhu writes, thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Pravina Krishna Prabhu writes, and Lord Ram still accepted Vishwamitra as his guru.
Yeah, he didn't think, oh, he's spoiled. He ate dog meat. Yes, that becomes a big topic. But sometimes we think as soon as there's a discrepancy, it's all over. Now everything has to be seen in the light of that discrepancy, and we don't see that we're the discrepancy. Where there's a Pichet Suduracharo, Bhajate Mam Ananya Bhak, Sadhureva Samantavya, Samyak Vyavasitohi. So we have our own ideas of what a sadhu is, and Krishna's ideas are too radical. We don't accept what Krishna says because it goes against our own sense of moral principles. But that's the materialistic viewpoint. We have to see what Krishna says, dharma hishakshat, bhagavat pranitam. Morality is what Krishna says, not what I think. Krishna says, all right, even if this person has done something that might be considered abominable, if he's steadfast in his dedication to me, he has to be considered a sadhu. So Lord Ram, I don't know the time sequence, whether first Vishamritra ate dog meat and then Ram accepted him, or vice versa. But either way, Lord Ram didn't think, no, he's disqualified because of this. No. Nice point. Hare Krishna.
Right. An interesting comment by Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavatam 2.8.18 purport. People following the principles of devotional service to the Lord can never be put into difficulty, and thus there cannot be any question of apad dharma, or religion in distress. As will be explained in this book by the greatest authority, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, there is no religion save and except the devotional service of the Lord, though this may be presented in different forms.
Interesting. And like, when if I should look at the context, but that's finally, these various religious principles are all subservient to devotional service. Vasudeva Parodharma. The ultimate religious principle is devotional service to Krishna. Everything else is not actually dharma. They approach it to dharma, not quite the dharma. So, yes. Let me just look at that because I'd like to see what the context was. Two, 8:18. The Parikshit Maharaj is asking, please explain Krishneshu Dharma, Dharma of those who are in distress. Yeah, there's so many different kinds of occupational duties, social orders, administrative royalties, religious principles. Duties of kings, Rajarshinam Cha, duties for human beings. The occupational duties of the castes and the orders of society, following the principles of livelihood, also depend on the principle of devotional service. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that a person can achieve the highest perfection of life simply by awarding the results of his occupational duty unto the devotional service of the Lord. People following the principles of devotional service to the Lord can never be put into difficulty, and thus there cannot be any question of apadharma, or religion in distress. There's no religion save and except devotional service. So there are religious principles according to Varnashram for different classes of people, and we hear if a Brahmin can't perform the duties of a Brahmin, the occupation, can't sustain himself by Brahminical activities, then he can take up Kshatriya activities. So there may be some that sort of adjustment. But finally, there's no, well, I'll give up devotional service because it's an emergency. Whatever. The real Dharma means devotional service, and these other things are to support it. Yeah. We note, by the way, that Prabhupada was in New York in the middle of the winter, and he didn't think he had to eat anything other than Krishna Prasadam. Not that it was an emergency. It's so cold, we have to do something. Other than that, no. Carry on with our principles. Yes, Phil.
There's a quote there, I'm probably paraphrasing it wrong. It says, like, surrendering the results of work unto devotional service.
Yes, surrendering the results of work unto devotional service. I think that's
What was the exact quote?
By rewarding the results of his occupational duty unto the devotional service of the Lord. The meaning is that we have to dedicate everything to devotional service. The Prabhupada's paraphrasing. Yata pravitir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam swakarmanam abhyarcha siddhim vindatiman. Swakarmana tama abhyarcha siddhim, that everyone can attain perfection by performing his work and dedicating it to Krishna. Dedicating it to Krishna. So that's the point. Maybe the language may be a little, what's the word? Not what we're used to. But dedicating my duties, I guess we would say by rewarding the results of his occupational duty for the devotional service of the Lord.
This isn't karma yoga then, is it? This is...
Well, it's not karma yoga. Karma yoga is an interesting matter because karma yoga may be defined as karma, in which there's some, ordinary activities in which there's some covering of devotional service, or karma yoga. Prabhupada sometimes uses it as devotional service, doing everything for Krishna. Anashrita karma palam karyam karma karoti. So whether it's karma yoga or exactly, because these things finally we run into this sometimes, that there are different terms used to describe things. Within our science of devotional service, we use different terms. This is Uttamadhikari, this is Madhyamadhikari, this is Kanishtadhikari, this is Shraddha, this is Anartha Nivritti. There's 5 stages, there's 7 stages, there's 9 stages, there's hearing, there's chanting. All these classifications are given. And sometimes people want to know, is this such and such thing? Is this such and such thing? Because they're looking at their classification system. And that's good, but the classification systems are meant to help us get an insight into something that's not, what should we say, that goes beyond the mere classification. Is this person a Brahmin or a Shudra? Well, we can tell you, but the person is finally a person. He's more than just a Brahmin or a Kshatriya. That's meant us to help us. These designations are, you need distinctions to help make sense of things, but to put things in the right bucket so that you can deal with them. But finally, it's not exact or all-encompassing, that everything has to fit into my categories. Otherwise, I can't deal with it, or otherwise you haven't dealt with it properly because you didn't put it into one of my 5 or 7 or 10 boxes. We have to see these things as true, but as meant to give us a deeper understanding. So it's not just categories. Although the categories are not to be dismissed, that we say, oh, there's no difference between a Brahmin and a Kshatriya, there's no difference between a Shudra and a Brahmin, so if we have a Shudra in charge, it's no different from having, not like that. There's no difference between a man or a woman, so if I marry a man, what the heck? And I marry another man, what's the difference? Not that everything becomes identical with everything else, but still we recognize that categories are meant to help us make sense of things. They're not ultimate. Is that okay? Okay. All right. So I think we're ready to go on.
Yeah, pretty Purna Malavi Mahasi writes, thank you, Maharaj, from earlier.
Hare Krishna.
Mahesh Pandit Guru, are you available?
Yeah, sure. Number 11. Samam cha kurumam rajan indrevastam yathapaya apartavapi bhadram te upavarte me vibho. My dear king, may I inform you that you have to make the entire surface of the globe level. This will help me. Even when the rainy season has ceased, rainfall comes by the mercy of King Indra. Rainfall will remain on the surface of the globe, always keeping the earth moistened, and thus it will be auspicious for all kinds of production. King Indra of the heavenly planet is in charge of throwing thunderbolts and giving rainfall. Generally, thunderbolts are thrown on the top of the hill in order to break them to pieces. As these pieces are spread asunder in due course of time, the surface of the globe gradually becomes fit for agriculture. Level land is especially conducive to the production of grain. Thus, the planet Earth requested Maharaj Prithu to level the surface of the earth, breaking up the highland and mountains. Om Agnan Timirandesya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumidya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shri Gaur Bhaktananda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. So planet Earth is requesting king to make it flat. So there's sufficient production of grains. Yes, Maharaj, thank you.
We see sometimes that in mountainous regions, people are ingenious and they develop ways to retain the rain and cultivate crops. But it's so much easier when the land is flat. The flat land is very conducive to agriculture. We see, for example, in New Vrindavan, when the land is sometimes too up and down, it's hard to cultivate in those areas. You're looking for flat land. In America, that the American Midwest is so good for wheat and crops in general, because you have vast flat areas. So the earth is telling Prithu Maharaj, you have to arrange things so that there'll be flat land. Then the rain can be conserved. The rain will nourish the crops, and there'll be enough of everything. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Number 12. Iti priyam hitam vakyam bhuva adaya bhupati vassam kutva manu pavan panav aduta sakala siddhi
Sakalo Siddhi.
Akaloksh Siddhi. After hearing the auspicious and pleasing words of the planet Earth, the king accepted them. He then transformed Swayambhu Manu into a calf and milked all the herb and grains from the earth in the cow form of a cow, keeping them in his cupped hands. Okay. So here Swayambhu Manu transformed into the calf and milk from the earth the herbs and grains, and keeping them in his hands. Yes, thank you.
This was the right food for human society. The descendants of Manu, grains, herbs, and so on. That's the right food to be derived from the earth for the human beings. And you get the picture of Prithu Maharaj. His cupped hands became the pot in which to receive all these things. You get, at least I get a picture of these great strong hands cupped together and receiving all of these things. So he's the representative of Krishna. His hands alone became the pot. Okay.
Our next verse, Madhupati.
By the way, you're very low today, Prasad. Your
Okay,
volume.
I'll look into it.
That's better, maybe.
Okay, it was a setting mixed with this a throat issue. Madhupati Brew, are you available?
Okay. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Gurudas Jayādvaita Swami Namine. तथा परिच सर्वत्र सारम आददते बुधा ततो अन्ये च यथा कामाम दुदुहु पृथुभावितम. Translation. Others who were as intelligent as King Prithu also took the essence out of the earthly planet. Indeed, everyone took this opportunity to follow in the footsteps of King Prithu and get whatever he desired from the planet Earth. The planet Earth is called Vasundhara. The word Vasu means wealth and Dhara means one who holds. All creatures within the earth fulfill the necessities required for human beings, and all living entities can be taken out of the earth by the proper means. As suggested by the planet Earth and accepted and initiated by King Prithu, whatever is taken from the earth, either from the mines, from the surface of the globe, or from the atmosphere, should always be considered the property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and should be used for Yajna, Lord Vishnu. As soon as the process of Yajna is stopped, the earth will withhold all productions, vegetables, trees, plants, fruits, flowers, other agricultural products and minerals. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, the process of Yajna was instituted from the beginning of creation. By the regular performance of Yajna, the equal distribution of wealth, and the restriction of sense gratification, the entire world will be made peaceful and prosperous. As already mentioned, in this age of Kali, the simple performance of Sankirtan Yajna, the holding of festivals, as initiated by the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, should be introduced in every town and village. Intelligent man should encourage the performance of Sankirtan Yajna by their personal behavior. This means that they should follow the process of austerity by restricting themselves from illicit sex life, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. If the intelligent men or the brahmanas of society would follow the rules and regulations, certainly the entire face of this present world, which is in such chaotic condition, would change, and people would be happy and prosperous. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmitan Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Yeah. Here we see planet Earth, which is Vasundhara. Vasu means wealth, the holder of all, one who holds wealth. And in planet Earth, we find all kinds of wealth, mines, vegetables, all the products, living entities. They all from planet Earth, and somehow Mother Earth had withhold the food supply because the yajnas were stopped. And so once the yajnas are performed, and they are performed for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu, then there is abundance of vegetables, trees, plants, fruits, flowers, and other agricultural products and minerals. So the emphasis is given to perform yajna, and especially in this age, the Sankirtan yajna is recommended. That the holiness of the Lord is spreaded in every town and village. There was one incident where there was this governor of Andhra Pradesh, I believe from Prabhupada Lilamrita, where he had mentioned to Srila Prabhupada that, you are opening temples here in the state and performing yajna, and there is famine going on in the state. So why you are performing yajna and wasting all this ghee? And Srila Prabhupada instructed that, the famine, the drought condition is there because there is lack of Sankirtan. And if Sankirtan is performed, so he said, please allow my disciples and my followers to do Sankirtan in each and every town and village, and you will see rainfall. And once the Sankirtan was started regularly, rainfall came, and the drought condition was minimized. So yajnas are important for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu, especially Sankirtan yajna in this age. More Sankirtan which we perform, people can hear the chanting of the holy name and can make their life sublime. Maharaj, would you like to say something?
The Prabhupada's guidance and directions here are very valuable in the present generation of younger people or generations, emerging generations. There may be a greater appreciation of the need to cooperate with nature and not make nature just our slave or for the need for us to cooperate with nature, not try to torture nature till nature gives what we want, but to see that nature is willing to give everything. Vasu means wealth. Nature, or the earth, is the source of all wealth, and the wealth is provided by Krishna. Prajashrishva Purovatra Prajapati. The Lord has provided everything. So we should learn the proper means. If we have the proper means, then agriculture is good, then mining even is good. Everything can be done to take from the earth the ingredients of prosperity, the sources of prosperity. We don't have to steal. We don't have to beat the earth like dacoits. The earth is willing to give. Prabhupada made that point, that people are so brutal. The cow is willing to give milk. And we're saying, no, first let me kill you and then get food from you. Cat, no, I'm giving you everything. No, first I have to kill you. This is the brute mentality. First I have to kill you, then I'll take what I want. No, you live and you give me what I need, and we'll have a happy, it's God's arrangement. Everyone will be happy. So earth is ready to supply minerals, precious metals, water, fruits, grains, milk products. But the essential element is God consciousness. Vasundhara, the earth is carrying all of these things for the benefit of the human beings. But it's so that the human beings can execute the purpose of life, to serve Krishna, to offer everything to Krishna, to become devotees of Krishna, not to become false enjoyers on their own and become thieves. Then earth is unhappy and will become unhappy. So it's very good that there are young industrialists coming up who have that idea that let us do things ethically. Let's do things in a cooperative manner, understanding that these are gifts from the earth. And if that consciousness can come to perfection when it becomes Krishna consciousness. When we understand Isha Vasham Idam Sarvam, everything is Krishna's property. Everyone's entitled to their portion of Krishna's property. We shouldn't take more and hoard at the expense of others. We should see that the wealth is properly obtained and properly distributed also. That's our duty. And everything arranged and offered in such a way that everyone, sarve sukhino bhavantu, the whole world can become happy by being Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Would you like to lead kirtan, O Phil? He seems willing. There's mridanga here. You don't play the mridanga. Okay, you've got the hands then.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Doesn't appear to
Rama,
be any sound.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnuvad Punamansa Pariprajukacharya Sto Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Sakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Gundagiri Gaurtan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Samaved Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaved Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami ki jai.
Fireworks.
It's all coming from Rasana.
From me? Pardon?
Thank you, Guru.
Oh,
Really?
Haribol.
If that's our finale, we leave with fireworks.
Yeah, we leave with fireworks. Is great.
I don't see any.
Well done, Rasananda. Hare Krishna.
I don't see anything. I maybe it's a setting on this account.
I don't know, but we're gonna leave and we'll let you figure it out. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Jai.
Thank you, Rasananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
What happened exactly?
There's some sound. It sounds like fireworks.
Oh, right now?
Yeah. Just
Even
pop,
right
pop, 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 pop.
Oh. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay.
Did you figure it out?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Haribol. It's kind of cool, actually. Haribol.